When Squarespace brought Fluid Engine onto the scene or to market, the buttons like all completely changed. And I think they changed for the better because it's given us so much more granular control over the sizing and the direction in which we align them, both vertically and horizontally. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to change the size, how to basically edit buttons to do whatever you want them to do. Now, if we go into the site, let's say this is your site. First off, we'll just add a button. So add a block, add a button, and we'll just bring that down here and sit it beneath the title. So it looks good, but if we double click on the button, we've got a few options. So first of all, we want to add a link in. So we'll add that into the about page. Great, we've got a link. Now say learn more about us. Now, one thing that you'll see with, I think it's fill. There's always fit and fill confuses me. So fit. Sometimes what happens is you'll get your the text in your button and it will go over 2 lines. And I see this issue all the time with websites where the buttons just aren't big enough. So especially, let's say this is over 1 line here, okay? And this is the fit style. So if we go into design, it's fit. If I start to shrink my, so let's just bring this down. If I start to shrink my screen like this, it starts to go over 2 lines, and you can see that now. So all you need to do, if you want to keep this sizing, is you can extend this as much as you want in fit. And so now, when I make this smaller, it doesn't actually stack at all. Honestly, you would not believe how many times I see this issue. So I think the most effective way to have your buttons look stylish or, not go over 2 lines is to have the fit style. So complete tangent, but fit is probably the best. Now, if you want, I guess, slightly more granular control over your button, you click fill. And what that's going to do is it's going to fill the entire block with your buttons. So you can make them way taller, way wider, and no matter what, it's going to basically stay exactly the same. You can see that it resizes with the rest of the elements. Now, I don't want my button to look like a sausage, so I'm going to bring this in just a little bit. So it does have its use cases. However, I think the best way to do it is fit. And you can adjust. So if we go into site styles, you can adjust the size and the shape of your button in here. And this applies mostly to fit. So I'm using a primary button here. If I want all of my buttons to be uniform in, height and width, or padding, should I say, then I'm going to make sure that I set it in here. And instead of, trying to match it with the fill design, I know that they're all going to have the exact same padding on the top and the bottom, left and the right, if I use the site styles. And then I use God, I can't believe how many times I'm saying fit and fill. And I'm getting very confused. But I can set it for fit perfectly in here. Now, also, if I do want to change the button styles, I can do that in here as well. Let's keep it. Let's put it to the pill. Perfect. Okay. Now to go back into our design, there's a couple of other things that you can do. So you can align your buttons. A lot of the time in my designs, I will align things to the left. So let's move this over to the left and bring this in here. And then your button, again, you can make it as wide as you want so it doesn't stack. But then if we click on the block, you've got the arrows and you can put that to the left like so. And as we resize, it doesn't stack. So that's a bit of a secondary point almost, But I would recommend, as a designer, especially on Squarespace, to try and stretch these buttons as far as you can, just to give them enough room to breathe and not go all weird on smaller screen sizes. So for the majority of use cases, if you go into design, you're going to want fit over fill. And then just make sure your alignment's correct. And then finally, you can align vertically. So to the top, to the center, and to the bottom. Once you're happy, you just hit save and your button is in. Hopefully you found that useful. I know I went off on a bit of a fit and fill tangent, but hopefully you did find it useful. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and hit subscribe. And if you want me to fiddle with your buttons as I build your Squarespace website, you can get in touch using the links in the description.